Okay, good day everyone. Today we are going to discuss SWOT analysis. I'm sure you are already familiar with this term. So it is a tool used in analyzing the organization's, of course, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And with our SWOT discussion today, we are going to analyze the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of President Ramon Magsaysay State University. So strength, as written in your handouts, it is a skill, a competence, a valuable organizational resource, or competitive capability that gives the firm a market advantage. While weaknesses, they are something a company lacks or does poorly, or a condition that puts it at disadvantage. So strengths and weaknesses from the term, they are part of the internal environment. That's why I have discussed the internal and external environment first before proceeding with this SWOT analysis. So let's see the example for strengths and weaknesses. For example, under strengths, we have there sufficient capital. So it is under money based on our 5 M's of the organization. Money, manpower, materials, machineries, and methods. So sufficient capital is of course a strength of the organization and it is under money. We also have competent employees. So that falls under manpower. Better advertisement campaign. So it is a method of promotion. Proven management. So management in general. And advanced facilities under machinery. So those are examples of strengths of an organization. Again, internal environment, same as weaknesses. So the strengths and weaknesses in the internal environment, so again, they include manpower, money, machineries, methods, and materials. For example, under weakness, we have here obsolete facilities as an example of weakness. So that is under machineries. Also, weak company image. So that is management in general. Ineffective human resources. So that is under men. Slower market growth. That is also an example of weakness under management in general. So again, SW analysis or strength weakness analysis, they are under internal environment. So, they can control by the organization. While opportunities and threats analysis, they are under external environment. External environment, both micro environment and macro environment. So, they can't controlled by they cannot be controlled by the organization. Opportunities are chance offered by external environments to improve the company's situation. So let's look at the examples. So examples of opportunities are the ability to serve additional customers, falling trade barriers, and complacency among rival firms. So as you can see, ability to serve additional customers, of course, under customers in microenvironment. Falling trade barriers, that is under political, regulatory, or economic. And complacency among rival firms, that is under competition in microenvironment as well. While the political, regulatory, legal, or economic, that is under macro environment. So they are external to the business. While threats, they are also external to the business, are challenges posed by unfavorable trend or development in the external environment, again, that may lead to downfall of the firm. So external environment, microenvironment, the customers, public, partners, competitors, marketing intermediaries and suppliers, and macro environment, the pastel, or in our marketing terms, we have the government, political, regulatory, legal, technological, socio-cultural, demographic, and the natural or physical environment. So let's see the examples for our threats Example, costly regulatory requirements, so that is under political and regulatory. Changing buyer needs and tastes, so if it is under buyers needs or tastes, that is socio-cultural. Rising sales of substitute products, so obviously that is under competition in the microenvironment factors. So to better understand SWOT analysis, we are going to analyze the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of President Ramon Magsaysay State University, and dividing it into strength weakness analysis using the 5 M's of the organization and the marketing mix, so that is separate, and the opportunities and threats analysis using the external factors, so separating microenvironment and macro environment. Okay, let's have PRIMSU's SWOT analysis first with strengths, weaknesses analysis based on our internal environment, or the 5 M's of the organization: the manpower, money, machineries, materials, methods, and methods. Okay, again, strengths and weaknesses, they should be under the internal environment. Of course, you know PRIMSU, you are studying here. So PRIMSU is President Ramon Magsaysay State University. So it has 7 campuses strategically located around Zambales. So first, what is the strength of PRIMSU basing on its manpower? So of course, I'm part of the manpower of PRIMSU. So the employees and instructors of PRIMSU, they are very efficient. So we are very efficient, we are very knowledgeable, and of course we are equipped with the position requirements of our jobs. So if our jobs require a masteral or doctorate degree, then we should have masteral and doctorate degree. And PRIMSU, they are making sure that its employees and instructors are effective, efficient, and knowledgeable. So that is the strength of PRIMSU with regards its manpower. How about the weakness? So one of the weaknesses of PRIMSU's manpower is PRIMSU needs more doctors in its rosters of professors and employees. So we need more instructors or professors with doctorate degrees. And we also need trainings. Trainings are also a must for PRIMSU's manpower. So that is an example of strength and weakness analysis based on manpower. How about money? So what is the strength of PRIMSU when we are talking about money? Of course, because PRIMSU is a state university, there is always available funding. There is always available grants, and of course budgets from the national government. So we have money, of course, because it is a state university. It is being given budget from the national government and from the Department of Budget Management. So PRIMSU has budget. How about the weakness? Considering money, maybe the university budget is restricted by various fund restrictions and maybe audit requirements, but that is also a strength. And maybe requesting additional grants is also a long process because we are under the government. So sometimes government process is a tedious activity, and usually it requires a very long process when it comes to requesting additional money, for example. So that is one of the weaknesses of PRIMSU when we talk about money as a part of the organization. Third, materials. So the strength of PRIMSU with regards materials, So because of the available budget that we have discussed under money, materials are enough for the university operation. So that is our strength. What is our weaknesses? The procurement of materials. Again, can be a tedious process because there is posting of needed materials. There is bidding. There is choosing of partners or parties that those materials will be procured from, and delivery may take a very long time because again we are in the government, but we are of course changing that bureaucracy and process. So that is the strength and weakness of PRIMSU when it comes to materials. Next, we have machinery. Of course, you are already old students, you know that we have buildings, we have beautiful buildings, modern buildings, machineries, new buildings and equipments, and they are very suitable for operation and learning. The university's campus development plan is also very comprehensive. We have a lot of buildings in our campus in IBA main campus, for example, and modern buildings and machineries are available for operation. So that is the strength under machinery. What is the weakness? Maybe the maintenance of the buildings, machineries, and equipment is not very sufficient. So that is one weakness. Maybe that is the lone weakness under the machineries and equipment under the 5 M's of the organization. And last, in this strength weakness analysis under the internal environment is the method. So what is the strength of PRIMSU's method? So we have an international standard certification from ISO for our services. So that is a very good strength, and there is also a proper implementation and procedures both in administration and teaching services. So that is one good strength that we are very proud of. How about the weakness? Maybe the weakness under PRIMSU's methods, the process are not properly posted in offices. Maybe that's one. And maybe standard certification requirements eat up employees' time. But those are very little weaknesses because under methods we have very good strengths. So that is strengths and weakness analysis under internal environment. Now let's also try to know the strengths and weaknesses of PRIMSU under marketing mix. Of course, we all know the marketing mix: product, price, place, and promotion. So what are the strengths of PRIMSU's product, services, or curricular offerings? So of course you know this, the curricular offerings or programs of the President Ramon Magsaysay State University have certificate of program compliance. So we are requesting this program compliance for us to know that our programs are complying the requirements for the Commission on Higher Education. And we are also undergoing accreditation. So most of our programs are accredited, sometimes as high as accredited level 3 or level 4 by various accrediting agencies. So that is one strength of PRIMSU under our products or service offerings. What about the weaknesses? So what are PRIMSU's weaknesses when it comes to products or service offerings? So maybe the university lacks important programs such as medicine, pharmacy, criminology, marine courses. Those are weak. That is one weakness of the university. But the strength is, of course, we are offering various and very important programs. So we have business administration, accountancy, nursing, psychology, education, engineering, mechanical, civil, and electrical. So that is a strength. However, we have weaknesses because we lack important programs such as medicine, marine, and criminology, for example. What about the price? So, of course, the biggest strength of RMT or PRIMSU when it comes to price, so the tuition fee in PRIMSU is entirely free. I don't know if it's entirely, but I think it is. Especially to new students. And what is the weakness? Student loans are not available. Of course, aside from the tuition fee, we also need other things like boarding houses, projects, etc. And sometimes getting student documents can be very pricey. So that is the weakness when it comes to our pricing. Next, we have place as a part of the marketing mix. Of course, again, PRIMSU is continuously improving its infrastructure development. So there are currently 7 campuses strategically located in Zambales. So we have 7 campuses, and that is a very good strength because we can cater a lot of students all over Zambales, even in Pangasinan and Olongapo City. And also, the location of the main campus, the IBA campus, is also very strategic because IBA is the capital of Zambales. So that is our strength when it comes to place or place of distribution. So what is our weakness? Other campuses are very far from the commercial areas of the municipalities that they are situated in. For example, the Candelaria campus or San Marcelino campus, they are very far from the town proper. And there are also no PRIMSU campus in other key towns like Subic, for example, or Olongapo being the lone independent city in Zambales. So that is our weakness. But again, our strength, we have 7 campuses strategically located in Zambales from north to south. But we just need to write down weaknesses because this is a SWOT analysis. Next and last in our marketing environment mix under the SWOT analysis or the SW strength and weakness analysis first is promotion. So what are the strengths of PRIMSU's promotion? Actually, we don't do promotional activities a lot, but one of our strengths is PRIMSU's excellent performance in board examination will of course attract potential students, as well as our extension, gift giving, and outreach activities and initiatives. We are attracting potential students with this platforms and of course our good performance in board examination. So that is our strengths in promotional strategies, even though we are not doing promotions very much. So that is one of our weaknesses. PRIMSU is not doing extensive advertising activities or advertisement activities or promotional activities in general to promote its programs, unlike other colleges or universities. They are doing it during career guidance, career talks. Some promoters, they are promoting their schools and universities in various senior high schools, right? So that is one of our weaknesses. So again, that is the strength weakness analysis. So we are focusing on the internal environment. Again, internal environment, the 5 M's of marketing: men, money, machineries, material, and methods. And of course, we include the marketing mix because the product, price, place, and promotions can be controlled by the organization. Therefore, they are part of the internal environment. Okay, now let's proceed to the opportunities and threats analysis. Again, opportunities and threats analysis, the analysis of the external environment, so both the micro environment and macro environment factors. Okay, now let's proceed to the micro environment. I believe there are 6 um, important forces under the microenvironment. So aside from customers, suppliers, and competitors, we also have marketing intermediaries, public, and partner. But now, let's just focus on these 3. So what are the opportunities and threats of the university when it comes to this microenvironment forces? For example, in customers or students, because students are our customers, so there is always an influx of college enrollees in the countries. It is always rising. So the overall student number is always rising. So that is one opportunity. If the influx of student enrollees in college is rising, meaning we have more students for the university. So what is the possible threat for a customer? So maybe students are losing interest in key university offerings such as maybe agriculture in San Marcelino campus, forestry in Botolan campus, and fishery in Candelaria campus. And these are very important fields because, for example, San Marcelino is an agricultural campus. Botolan is a forestry campus, and Candelaria is meant for fishery campus. Now, if students are losing interest in these key university offerings, then that is a major threat. For suppliers, of course, we have university supplies. The opportunities present is online procurement, for example. Online procurement is slowly becoming a trend, partnered with faster delivery services. So that is one opportunity under supplies. And what is one threat under supply? The supply availability, especially during this pandemic, and the rise of supply costs, again, during this pandemic, will be a big problem to the university procurement. So that is a threat. How about the competitors? Of course, if there is competition from other nearby colleges, it will push the university to improve its instruction, research, production, and extension. That is our 4 core values: instruction, research, production, and extension. So if there is competition, we see that as an opportunity to improve our services. And what is the threat? There are various small institutions, small colleges that are mushrooming in the province of Zambales and even in the municipality of Iba. And students have a wide variety of schools to choose from. So that is our main threat. Yes, we are the biggest university in Zambales, but these competitors serve as our threat. They are mushrooming. They are rising like mushrooms. So that is our threat. So that is opportunities and threats analysis based on microenvironment factors, specifically the customers, suppliers, and competitor. Now let's go to the opportunities and threats analysis under the macro environment forces. Again, we have political, regulatory, or legal force, economic environment, cultural environment or socio-cultural environment, technological environment, demographic environment, and natural or physical environment. So what are our opportunities based on political, regulatory, or legal environment? Of course, we know this. The provincial government of Zambales and various local government units are giving scholarships and financial aids to PRIMSU students and the university in general. So the current Philippine administration also voices its support to tertiary education by promoting policies and laws such as the STEadFast, right? The free tertiary college education law and salary rise of instructors. So we have salary rise until 2023, for example. So the government is also providing scholarship grants for masteral and doctorate instructors. So the Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, right now is offering CHED K-12 transition program, for example, for PRIMSU instructors and other university instructors in the Philippines who want to pursue masteral or doctorate degree. So they are funding their thesis, dissertation, and researches. They are funding their allowances, book allowances, and tuition fees. So they are supporting our teachers. That is one opportunity of the President Ramon Magsaysay State University. For one threat, because K-12 education is part of the regulatory and legal, because it is ILO, it could be a threat because university enrollment, in university enrollments and college and tertiary enrollments in general, because students might think that they don't need to pursue college education anymore because they are already a graduate of senior high school, and there are various specializations in senior high school, right? So the K-12 law, it could be a threat to the university enrollment because senior high school graduates may think that they don't need college education anymore. So that is a threat to the university under the political, regulatory, and legal environment. Now, economic environment. So our biggest opportunity is Zambales is a continuously growing province, or economic development is rising here in Zambales. So families want to settle here. More settler, more families means more students to cater. So that is our opportunity. How about the threat? So, of course, right now we are in the middle of the pandemic. So the country is experiencing economic recovery. Our economy is thriving right now, recovering from the ongoing pandemic. And also, many people have lost their jobs, as well as opportunities for employment abroad, including families of PRIMSU students. So that is a threat because families may not send the students to university anymore because they don't have any means of employment opportunities. So that is a threat. Now let's proceed to cultural or socio-cultural. So one opportunity is students are looking for schools that respect their culture, their moral rectitude, their values, their norms, and beliefs. And the President Ramon Magsaysay State University is doing that. So that is our opportunities. What is our threat when it comes to cultural environment? So, of course, you know, the changing needs, the changing wants, the changing tastes of millennials and Gen Z generation or Generation C may also affect the trend in college education. So that is one threat. Now let's proceed to the technological environment under the opportunities and threats analysis based on the macro environment forces. So our opportunity is of course the rise of available instruction tools in the web and in social media, the availability of the Zoom, Google Meet, these online platforms that will help students and of course instructors is their jobs at education, instruction, and research. So these are opportunities presented by the technological environment. But if there are opportunities, there are also threats. So this recent pandemic requires universities to adapt in online learning. But are we ready? If PRIMSU couldn't adapt to the advancement of technology, then students might look for institutions with technological capacity. If the students didn't think that PRIMSO is ready, then they will enroll in Ateneo, for example. So that is one threat. The next macro environment factor is the demographic factor. So what is an example of opportunities under demographic? So many young people still see college education as a tool to overcome poverty. So thank God. And the country has of course, we have a young population. So majority of the population is young. There are more children than adults. So what could be the threat under demographic? So the age of the majority of college students today, because of the K-12 education, is actually the age that already requires them to work, or the age of employment. They are under the age of employment already, so they may choose to work over study. So because they are old enough to do work, so they may choose work over study. So that is one threat under the demographic factor, age. So age is under the demographic factor. Okay. And last, under the macro environment forces is the natural environment. So what is our strength? The accessibility of raw materials and various processes can be linked to own production of them. And the university, as you know, our four core values are instruction, research, extension, and production. So the university is engaging in various production, especially what I have told you earlier in agriculture, forestry, and fishery campuses for self-sustainment. That is under natural, under our opportunities. So, what is an example of threat? Of course, numerous typhoons, cyclones, tropical depressions, storms visit the Philippines, and they visit Zambales as well each year, resulting to suspension of classes and damage to infrastructure. So that is under the physical or natural environment. That is a threat because if there is a storm, depressions, there is class suspensions and damage to infrastructures. And that is before, because right now we are under pandemic, and this COVID-19 crisis is also a part of the natural environment threat. So that is the threat example of the natural environment. So yes, that is the SWOT analysis of the President Ramon Magsaysay State University. But it doesn't end there, because it is an analysis after setting your strengths, weaknesses from your internal environment, and your opportunities and threats from your external environment. You should analyze the market and the marketing environment to find attractive opportunities and identify environmental threats. We still should analyze the company's strengths and weaknesses, as well as current and possible marketing action to determine which opportunities it can best pursue. So this is the analysis part. As you can see, the strength and weaknesses, they are under the internal environment, and the opportunities and threats, they are under the external environment. The goal is to match. Again, the goal is to match internal strengths, as you can see, strengths to threats, and opportunities to weaknesses. Again, the goal is to match internal strengths and weaknesses to external opportunities and threats. We need to use the strengths to eliminate the threats, as you can see. and we need to use our opportunities to disregard our weaknesses. Okay, I have an example. That's why this is an analysis. For example, under the weakness part, under the materials part, the procurement of materials can be a tedious process. It can be a long process. So there's posting, there is bidding, there is selection, and delivery may take a very long time. So how can we address that weakness? So using our opportunities. So using our opportunities from our suppliers, online procurement is slowly becoming a trend, partnered with faster delivery services. And we can also use our opportunity from the natural environment, because we have accessibility of raw materials and various processes that can be linked to own production of them. So the weakness, procurement of materials can be a tedious process, and the delivery may take a long time. It can be addressed by the opportunities of suppliers that online procurement is slowly becoming a trend, partnered with faster delivery services, and our opportunities under the macro environment factors that the accessibility of raw materials can be linked to the own production of them. So in a way, we are able to address our weaknesses by our opportunities. Now let's proceed with the threats strengths analysis. For example, one of Primsus' threats under competitors, there are small institutions, right, that are mushrooming in the municipality. And there are many colleges and institutions that serve as competitors of Primsu in Zambales. So students have a wide variety of schools to choose from. So how can we address this threat? By using our strengths. For example, in manpower, we can address these competitors by promoting that Primsus employees and instructors are very efficient, knowledgeable, and equipped with position requirement of their jobs. That Primsu instructors are the best instructors out of all the colleges and universities in Zambales. We can also address the threats by using our strength in machineries, that the university's campus development plan is very comprehensive. We have many buildings, we have modern buildings, and we have machineries that are available for our operation. We have a world-class e-library, for example. So, we can address our competitors by using our strength in machineries. And of course, by using our strength in product, the curricular program sub-certificate of program compliance. Our curricular programs are accredited as high as level 3 and 4 that other colleges don't have, for example. And of course, we can use our strength in price because the tuition fee is in Primso is completely free or free. So we can address our competitors because our competitors don't have that privilege of having free tuition. So that is SWOT analysis. We are using again our strengths to deal with our threats, and we are using our opportunities to disregard our weaknesses. I have two more examples. For example, part of our weakness in manpower, diba, Primso needs more doctors in its roster of professors and employees. And training are also a must for Primso's manpower. We can address our weakness of having few doctors, that we need more doctors in our roster of professors by our opportunity in political and regulatory, di ba? The current administration is supporting tertiary education by the steadfast free tuition law. And of course, if you remember, they are helping instructors and professors for their masteral and doctorate opportunities, di ba? They are helping in thesis and dissertation grants, tuition fees, etc. So we can address the lack of doctors to the opportunities given by the government, that they are promoting and they are giving scholarships to the instructors and professors of various universities in the Philippines. So that's why it is an analysis, because we are solving our weaknesses and threats. We are not just writing them, we are solving them. For example, last example, under technological, this is a threat. So this recent pandemic requires universities to adapt in online learning. So if PRIMSO couldn't adapt to the advancement of technology, students might look for institutions with technological capacity. And how did PRIMSO address this threat? By using its strength in money and materials. Because again, PRIMSO is a state university, there's always available funding. We have always grants and budgets from the national government. Do you remember that? So because of this available budget, materials are enough for the university operation. The threat in technological is we need to adapt in online learning. If we couldn't adapt, then students might look for institution with technological capacity. So what did PRIMSO do? So before the semester starts, so the PRIMSO administration bought personal computers and laptops for its instructors and teachers, and strengthened the internet system in the university. So yun yung ginawa ng PRIMSO to address the technological threats by using its strength in money and its materials. So that is SWOT analysis. Okay, to sum up, again, strengths and weaknesses are internal. So internal, we have discussed this, the 5 M's of the organization: men, machinery, materials, money, and method. And I have also included the 4 marketing mix, the 4 P's of marketing: product, price, place, and promotion, because they can be controlled by the organization. Therefore, they are internal factors. And external factors, and opportunities and threats are studying external factors. Microenvironment factors such as the suppliers, competitors, partners, publics, customers, and marketing intermediaries, as well as macro environment forces, the regulatory and legal, political, economic, technological, socio-cultural, natural, and demographic. And you don't need to just write them down. You need to analyze how can you address the weakness and threats by using your opportunities and strengths. So that is SWOT analysis. Okay, thank you. Have a good day.